Hey, welcome back everyone. Today we're talking about some of the unforeseen benefits of a raw fruit-based diet and the experience that really convinced me that there's more to diet and human health than anything we've been told before. But before we get started, if you're enjoying this content, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. If you're new, it really helps my channel out. If you're just starting out on this journey, this raw food journey, be sure to check out my free ebook down below. And if you're looking for a more structured program with daily lessons and guidance to help you transition to a fully raw diet in just 30 days, come along and join us in the 30-day raw food challenge. We're kicking that off real soon, so I'll put the link down in the description below, along with one-on-one information if you're interested in working through this process together. So, one of the biggest questions I hear about a raw diet is, what about the deficiencies? Where are you getting your protein? Where are you getting this vitamin or that mineral? And the idea that I really want to propose today is this, that what if the human body is capable of functioning in a completely different way than what we've been told? We're taught that the body is basically this giant combustion engine where we need these massive amounts of food that get burned up and converted into chemical energy that runs the body. This calorie in, calorie out model. And we're led to believe that if we find these vitamins and minerals and nutrients inside of the body that are essential to its functioning, that we're required to get all these things from outside of us through our food, that our blood values need to fall within this certain range if we're to be considered healthy. But what if it's possible to evolve ourselves spiritually, so that our physical vehicle starts to function in this completely new way? That instead of this gas guzzling combustion engine, what if we could run like a solar charged electric vehicle, where we get all of our energy from the biophotons in our food, and the body produces everything it needs from full spectrum light? And maybe the blood values that we consider healthy are not healthy at all. What if they're just normal? The average values taken from a sampling of an unhealthy population. So the thing that really opened my eyes to this possibility was my own experience with transitioning to a raw diet. It was early 2023. I was still eating the sort of Weston A. Price animal-based diet. It worked for me for a really long time. And at the time, I started learning about the dangers of modern dentistry. And I am planning a whole nother video on modern dentistry versus biological dentistry. So I won't go into too many details here. Keep an eye out for that video. But in particular, I had a root canal from when I was a teenager. And I started hearing all these people talk about how root canals become this source of chronic infection in the body that ends up causing all these downstream diseases. And so I knew then that I needed to find a biological dentist. And these are dentists who consider dental health in the bigger picture of full body health. They understand dental health to be this extension of what's going on in the rest of our body and the interconnectedness between it all, instead of this isolated system of teeth. Now, I knew something was off with my root canal. It had been bothering me for a little while. I could just tell something wasn't right, but I had no idea how bad it actually was. This is a picture of my 3D x-ray. This big hole that you see in my jawbone below the root canal tooth, which dentists will tell you are sterile, but they're actually these sites of massive infection. And in my case, it developed an infection that literally dissolved solid bone. And in addition to this root canal, I also had these 4 other hollow areas in my jawbone called cavitations. These are where my wisdom tooth extractions took place. And basically, when wisdom teeth get pulled in the traditional way by traditional dentists, they leave the ligament in, and so the body gets confused. The jawbone doesn't completely fill in, and what you're left with is these hollow cavities that also become these breeding grounds for nasty infections. And so I had these 5 pretty big gaping holes in my head that were also infected pretty bad. So I got in quick. I had this major surgery done by a biological dentist to rectify all these problems. It's pretty massive. They have to open up all of your cavitations. They pull the infected tooth. They go in and scrape and clean it out, sterilize it so the bone can start to regrow properly. And almost immediately after I had this surgery, I noticed this major shift in my health. And just like that, I came to the realization that I couldn't eat animal protein anymore. And my body wanted a plant-based diet. And after lots of trial and error, I eventually settled on this raw fruit-based diet that I've seen so many benefits from. But I think the thing that was most interesting to me was the timing. There was this clear correlation between my dental work and this shift in my diet. And personally, I'm not a believer in coincidences. My best hypothesis as to why this happened, why my body made the sudden shift, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this as well, if you have any, if you've seen this before or experienced it yourself. I'd love to hear your ideas because I'm still working through this. But my best hypothesis is that my body actually needed all these raw materials, all the bioavailable nutrients from the animal products I was eating in order to try to fight these raging infections that were going on in my head. Because if you think about it, my body had been dealing with all these things for a decade or more. And the problem with root canal teeth is that the tooth is dead. And so the body can't get blood and nutrients there anymore. So all it can do is try to build this protective wall to kind of wall off the infection from spreading to other parts of the body and hold it at bay. And so the body is allocating all of its resources to try to keep this infection at bay because the body knows that if this infection in the head starts to spread into the blood, into the brain, it's game over. It's death to the body, and it knows that. And so it fights with this life and death mentality around the clock, 24/7. And my body did this for years upon years. And I look back now and I say, well, it's no wonder that I felt so tired and so fatigued all the time, why I had all this brain fog. But I also think that eating this diet that was really high in nutrients from these various animal products was important to my body at the time. It kind of kept the machine running, and it gave my body the raw materials that it needed to take care of what was going on until I could get to a dentist and have it fixed. And as soon as I got this root problem taken care of, my body kind of was able to exhale and say, okay, we're ready for this more high vibrational plant-based diet, so you could step into the next phase of your healing, of your evolution. And this is another point that I kind of wanted to touch upon, is that I think so many people, when they get into this vegan or raw vegan space, many of them do it because maybe they saw something on social media, or they saw a Netflix documentary about how they treat and slaughter the animals, and they say, all right, that's it, I'm going plant-based, without really considering the deeper implications of this diet. And in my experience, these are generally the people who end up failing in the long run. Maybe it was their motivation wasn't good enough, but also maybe there are underlying issues, other health issues that are preventing their body from acclimating to a plant-based diet. Maybe they're parasites or mold or heavy metals or infections like me that are unresolved. And so the body needs certain vitamins and minerals that are only found in high amounts in animal products. And so my advice to people is that before starting this raw lifestyle, because it can be a bit extreme, is to really contemplate this decision at a physical, mental, emotional, spiritual level before they go all in, because this diet is a catalyst for profound transformation at all of these levels. It's not just a matter of physical diet and physical change. You'll feel the effects at all levels of your being. And so I generally actually don't recommend people go cold turkey and jump straight to this diet unless they're already living this clean lifestyle and they're very aware and conscious. And I'm not trying to say that you shouldn't go all in and go for it if you're considering it, but it's just something to think about. And if it doesn't feel right at this moment, it doesn't mean that it'll never be right for you. Maybe it's just not the best fit at this particular stage of your journey. I really believe that choosing to do it at the right time is a key factor in people succeeding versus the people who don't. And so your body and your heart will really let you know if this is right. So just follow your inner guidance would be my advice to you. And thankfully, in my case, I was guided to this diet at what seems like this very perfect and pivotal time in my journey. I feel like this high vibrational diet has allowed me to make these massive strides in terms of emotional healing and spiritual self-realization. My physical body hasn't taken a hit either. I'm still able to train and compete and exert physically at the level that I want. This is my x-ray after about 8 months of being on this raw fruit-based diet for most of the time. And as you could see, all the bone in my jaw has regrown beautifully. My implant went in flawlessly, and I regrew this considerable amount of bone in my jaw without needing these calcium-rich or nutrient-dense foods that we're so often told to eat when we get injured and when we need to repair the body. And so I'm not saying that this is the correct diet. I'm not saying that my own opinions won't change as I continue to learn and evolve more myself. I'm on this journey of healing and learning just as much as all of you. But what I am saying is that, especially today, we really need to be questioning everything that we're told about health, about what our body really needs, about how we're supposed to live, and what a healthy, balanced human truly looks like. I really do think that the human body was designed to be this self-sustaining spiritual machine, and that we have devolved over time to our current state of consciousness and to a place where we need this massive amount of food and calories and nutrients coming in from the outside in order just to sustain ourselves and not wither away. But at the same time, I also believe that we can relearn what we've lost and reach this place of vitality and function that would be considered all but supernatural to the average person. And because I really think that if we look around at our society as a whole and our population's health at large, most of us will agree that we're not just a little bit off. We're way off. We're miles off. And so maybe those little changes, replacing your donut in the morning with a bowl of oatmeal, it will make a difference if you do it consistently. It will move the needle. But I don't think those kinds of superficial changes are going to bring the level of change and transformation that so many of us know is possible for the human race. And I think that if we want to create big changes, it's going to take big changes in how we think and how we approach things. We're going to have to completely rework the formula and rewrite the playbook for this new type of human being that's going to walk this planet in the coming years and decades and centuries. And so I believe that that's what we're here to do, and I'm so excited that you're exploring this as well. You're on the journey here with me and with all of us. I would love to hear your thoughts and your perspectives as well. Leave a comment down below. I love it when people share perspectives that I've never considered before. I think this kind of thing is so important as we come together and exchange ideas so that we can move forward together and create the change that we truly want to see. And so again, I will leave some other resources. I'll leave my coaching information down below. Be sure to check that out. I'm looking forward to continuing to evolve and grow with all of you. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks so much for joining me today. Have a great day.